Hi, how you doing? Welcome to day 49, part 2, where I actually finish a story of the Left 4 Dead that I read about the comic that tied everything together. Yes, cuz the last video it the camera died, so you didn't hear anything. So let me start from the beginning. Now, let me tell you about the characters. We have Lewis, we have Zoe, we have Francis, and Bill. You know a little bit about Lewis, but I'm gonna tell you again. So it all starts off. Lewis is at work. Lewis is on the phone with his friend. His friend's name's Ray. And he's like, Ray, please tell me you're not gonna call in sick today, right? Please come into work. And Ray's like, I'm not gonna call in sick, but I'm still not coming to work. No, he's going to call in well. It's quite funny. He's going to call in well, but still not coming to work today. And he's like, please, Ray, come in. And Ray's looking outside, and he's like, have you seen the place? It's probably filled with infected. And then Lewis says, your condo is probably filled with more infected people than the rest of the world around him. And now he is inside, Lewis. He's inside of his office, and he's still trying to convince Ray to come back in. And he's telling Ray, please, man, just come in. And then the next reason that he has is think about it. Like, he told him to, like, a mind, like a thinking exercise. What if, right, that he and him come here, right? They don't get infected, nothing happens to them, and they keep running the company, that they would get the recognition that they wanted and would basically be running the company, like they'd get promoted. That's how he was thinking of it. Lewis likes to think positive, right? And Ray still says no. And then after a while, Ray, he probably doesn't pick up, or maybe he hangs up. But he then goes into the bathroom, Lewis, because he has to take a shit. And when he's walking in there, there is a, what do you call it? There's this one zombie dude there, but we don't know he's a zombie. He just looks like a person just chilling. He's like, sup, man? No response. He's in the toilet. He's taking a shit. Yes, like he's just on the toilet, just normal toilet things. He's on his phone, and the reception goes down. There's no more reception anymore. He's like, beep, 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 beep. No more reception. Guess what he says? I just fixed it. Because he's the IT guy. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, back in the office while I was on the phone, there's this lady there. She has this little box with a flower on it. And she knows she's packing her things. She's like one of the only people there. Not a lot of people there. And, fast forward back into the bathroom. He's in the bathroom. And then that sounds like that same dude is like knocking on the door. Dun, dun. And he's like, occupied. Dun, dun. Occupado. Do you not understand? Boom, 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 boom. It's like, can a man not take And then he looks at the floor, because, like, the man was, like, really close. And he's like, are you good, man? I don't know why. Just blood on the floor. I guess he turned somehow or something else. I don't know. Anyway, he gets on top of the toilet now. I guess he wasn't taking a shit. Gets on top of the toilet, looks over the stall, looks at it. There's, like, blood on the floor. There's, like, the handprints. I'm not trying to scare you, but, like, it's on the floor, but it's not dragging. It does look like it's dragging, but it's not dragging. And then there's now an infected behind him. When I say infected, I say it because it sounds better than saying the word zombie. And there's an infected behind him, and he's like, whoa, oh shit. Like, he's, like, got his face. Yeah. So now he turns around, he gives him a punch, like that, right? And then now they're fighting, and at one point they're, like, really close under the floor. And now the infected is on top of him, and he grabs the toiletry thing that holds the toilet paper in, like, other places, and then smacks him in the face, and basically, smashed on the floor. And now he walks out back into the office, and he's looking through the window, that is now broken. I guess they got in somehow, or maybe they got out. Someone got infected and they got out. And through that whole time when he was in the bathroom, he did get bit. He did get bit, meaning he did get infected, but he hasn't turned yet. That's interesting. And he's looking through that window, and behind him is that same flower box, but now that office looks raggedy, it looks rough, and that box looks a little bit shaggy, like something happened there for real. And then next we have, what's his name? Her name, Zoe. Oh, I forgot to describe Lewis for you. He's a tall, dark-skinned man. He's wearing a nice, you know, t-shirt, white, probably yeah, definitely a tie, business casual pants, and there is Zoe next. Zoe's story. It's quite sad. Um, so actually, the way how we found out Zoe's story is a little bit to trauma. So the trauma happened from when she was basically in this camp. That she got taken to this hold up, like, it's supposed to be a safe zone, but it's not the right safe zone that they were looking for. The doctor's talking to her. There's what do you call it? The doctor called Bill her father, and she was like, no, Bill's not my father. And then he had the flashback, and the flashback led us to this. Zoe's origin. She is a light skin, I believe, female. And yeah, so it was at her home, and her two parents were there. Her two parents are divorced. I forgot their name. So the female and the male. And the female, the mom says, one semester, I left you I left you guys here for one semester, and she dropped out of college. And then the dad says, well, the dad is a little bit defending her, and she's saying, well, she had a scholarship and, research, trying to explain things to her mom. And so the dad's with it, but they're now talking, they're arguing about certain things. And then she's like, oh, now I remember why. Because, the arguing and the, yeah, so like why the family is like in shambles. And one of them was him talking about, well, this is the home. And then she's like, this home, it's actually an apartment that you rent. And then that also started the next argument that she got in him for that. And then she's like, guys, I'm still here, because now they're talking about her, like her strengths, what she's good at. And all of a sudden, the mom says, forgot his name. The mom says, hey, why is there a homeless man in your house? So an infected burst through the door, but, it's pretty calm right now. And now they're getting a little bit scared. The mom and Zoe. So the mom is sitting right here, Zoe's sitting right here, and the father's sitting right here. The table, so technically it's faced me. So if it's faced you, father, Zoe. So I don't know how to do it. Zoe's right here, the mom's right here, the father's right here, the table's in front right here, the zombies guy's right here. If I said the mom was over here. And now the mom's like holding next to Zoe's, like, hey, there's a homeless man in your house. And then he pulls out, like, he gets up too. He's like warning, hey, stay back. And then he pulls out his gun. He's like, I'm giving you the count of 3. 1, 2, and in the middle of 2 and 3, he attacks the mother and went for her face, right? And in the process of that, tore off like quite a lot of the side of the face. And then I believe she went into shock and fell to the floor on her back. That didn't do anything to her, but she's in shock. And now Zoe is also there, also in shock that just happened. And it's like she sounds like she's in shock, like she's almost having a seizure, almost like she's choking on something, like Now she's pretty traumatized by it, and he shot the infected. So like, yeah, like after she got bit, then he got like shot the infected. The infected is now taken care of, but now she's trying to call 911, and guess what? Same thing. There's no service. And the dad's like, well, keep trying, right? And then they keep trying, and then guess what happened? Her mom got back up, but that wasn't her mom anymore. It was an infected. And then it attacked her. But I think it only tried to, like, what? Bite her a little? Or maybe it didn't do much. But definitely she got a little bit of a bite too. I'm not too sure. I did do a whole video where I read the comic. I even did some voices to try to do it. I'll leave that in the comments for you. But anyway, he shot. No. He tried to intervene to push her away. The infected mother now. And in the process of that, he also got bit, which is quite tragic. So now he's a little bit infected, and he now shot her, the infected mom, which is pretty tragic, as he did love her, and also Zoe loved her too. Now his back is up against the wall, and he's now joking to Zoe that, hey, remember those zombie movies? Zombie and vampire movies I used to sneak in for you when you were kids, and your mom would get so mad. And she's like, yeah. And then she even offered to, like, go get the first aid and everything. And he said, you remember how we used to laugh at those scenes where a friend would get bit and they're like, hey, we're going to have to kill the friend because he's going to get infected? Well, he's like, yeah, it's funny. But, like, now it's kind of what you have to do. And that's exactly what she did. She had to shoot her dad as he turned infected, or before he turned infected, or a little bit in between, which is quite tragic for her. And that was her story, which tied in that she doesn't have her father. Well, that it's not her father when she was at the doc place talking to the doctor. Now we're talking about Francis. Francis was quite funny. There's a lot of jokes with Francis. Let's just say Francis looks like a biker gang dude. A little bit muscles, black shirt, white top in between the black shirt. And how did his story start? Well, it starts with him holding a flat screen TV. And there's an officer with a light pointing at him. So, what are you doing with that flat screen TV? He's like, well, actually, I'm an officer. He's like, what are you doing with the flat screen TV? He's like, well, I need it as what do you call it? He was securing evidence for a crime. He's like, what crime? He's like, well, you know what? You got me there. Now this is the part where I run. So he ran. He got away from the officer, and now he's back at the bar with his friends, and he's talking about conjuring. Now he's like, well, guys, next time I pretend to be a cop, because that's an offense. Well, actually, before he said that, he was like, well, I guess you guys will see me on conjury, which should be when you visit someone in prison. He's like, you guys gonna visit me in conjury? And then this girl, she's like, well, Becky, but her name's not Becky. It starts with a S, actually. And he's like, well, yeah, Becky, you can come visit me in conjury. And she's like, I'll come visit you in conjury. And also, my name is, I say it's Samantha. And the other guys are like, conjury? There's no conjury, right? This is Pennsylvania. There's no conjury in Pennsylvania. He's like, what? He's like, damn it. Next time, remind me to impersonate a cop in Ohio, where there is conjury, so people can visit him. Anyway, they're all laughing and stuff, and then they went into the back alley, right? Well, into the alley of the same place or something like that. Him and Becky, or Samantha. And they started kissing. They started making out, and then she threw up a little while making out with him. And he's like, ew. He's like, damn, Becky, I don't know if this me and you thing's gonna work out. And then that's when she turned. She apologized. She said sorry, and then she just started sounding a little bit more what do you call it? Like a little bit turned, like a zombie. But it wasn't completely obvious to him because he's a pretty funny guy. And then it's like she's going back for a kiss, and then she turned and she bit another piece of his skin off of his neck. She's like, damn, right? He's like, you're gonna be like this. No conjury for you. And he said, oh, maybe just one time. And anyway, he's like, she lunged at him, and that's when his friend with a shotgun, bang, shoots her. And he's like, damn it. Let's call him Jimmy. Jimmy, you shot, and he actually said her right name this time. You shot Samantha. It's like, no, probably you knucklehead. Can't you see she's one of those things? It was like, Jimmy's like this is what the government's been telling us, man. They turned into these things. First they gave us satellites, then they gave us cell phones, now they gave us this flu, which probably isn't a flu, just what they're telling us to like keep us out of the know. And then he's like, oh well, if this is a flu, well no, if this is some form of infection, he's like, you know what this means, right? More fun. It's gonna be a party. So he tells him, grab the guns, grab the beer, and grab the jukebox, and then help him move it to the top floor, I guess. And that's exactly what they did. He bust through the top floor saying, I got the guns, I got the beer, it's a party until until something. And then he looks down, he's not even helping them carry up the jukebox. He's saying, what are you guys doing? No. He said, why don't you help? No, why did you have us bring this up here? It's like, for whatever reason. Anyway, the whole goal of him right there was just gonna sit up there and shoot all the infected, which is quite hilarious and chaotic. And that's the end of his story. The next story is Bill. Bill is a veteran, and currently he's in a home for veterans, but I think it's also a hospital for veterans. Anyway, there's a doctor and a nurse inside the room with him, talking to him for whatever reason. And the nurse, which is a dude, is like talking to him, is like, what are you, like Bill's asking him, what are you like doing? And he's like, are you a doctor? He's like, no, not yet. He's in med school, about to be a doctor soon, but not a doctor yet. And he's like, you know what, kid? Go practice somewhere else. But there's like more conversation than that. You probably really should check out that link, if anything. It is 1 hour and 30 minutes long, but it's more visual than this. And then, so the thing about Bill is, now we fast forward, he's in an operating room, right? And the doctor says, hey, count down from 10. And because he's being put under anesthesia, he's like 10, 9, 8, and then it starts to blur out. And guess what? One of the nurses lunge at the doctor that's closest to him, and because she's infected now, right? And he's like, hold on, what? And now the doctor's getting absolutely mauled, and this is where he decides to all right, yeah, no, he can't just go underneath anesthesia. He's fighting it now. He stood up. He's a mad confused now, and when he stepped on one of them, obviously I guess infected or near dead, completely severed the head or something like that. And then now he's walking through the hallway trying to get rid away from that infected. He's stumbling in this room and he's saying to himself he needs something sharp, and he needs something sharp. And then through all of this, he's thinking to himself. Bill was one of the characters that we only saw that he would actually think. He'd have his own thoughts. He'd be thinking to himself. He wouldn't be speaking out everything else like every other character. We got to see insider to him, which is pretty cool. He's kind of the only character that does that. And he basically attacked the infected, because the infected start to come into the room, open the door and everything, and basically hacked at it. Now after that, he exited the hospital with those two sharp things in his hand, and fought his way back to his I guess the home where he resides, where he has a box, and in that box is his Vietnam soldier uniform, which he puts back on. And also on the bed he has a photo of his fellow soldiers, probably 4 of them, including him in that photo, or maybe 3, I'm not too sure. Maybe myself need to go watch that back again. And guess what? He puts it on, goes back outside, guns in hand, and he's blazing. So that is something to remember, because it's not the first time it looks like he takes out his frustrations on those zombies, I guess on what they've taken away from him. But it also means he was in surgery for something, but I'm not too sure what he was in surgery for. Removing a bullet? Something more health concerning? I'm not too sure. But the thing about him is that there's this chapter called The Sacrifice. And I'll leave it as that, as we might not want to know yet. Or maybe we do. But you know, it's the game that I like. This is my favorite game. It's called Left 4 Dead 2. And it's because it has Left 4 Dead 1 map in it, and Left 4 Dead 2 has its own story in there too. The Left 4 Dead 2 story is about this dude named Coach, pretty cool, Nick, Ellis, and Rochelle. Well, this Left 4 Dead 1 is Lewis, Zoe, Francis, and Bill. And the thing that's cool about these is that they actually tie together where they both meet. But yeah, they both meet in the passing. They both meet. So these characters end up like seeing each other, and they had to move this bridge so they can get past. It's really pretty cool. What else was about it? Well, that was their origin. Let me tell you a little bit more about what was happening. So eventually, well, there's not really much. It was all about tying the stories together. The stories that got tied together was the blood harvest and the sacrifice, I believe. Those two stories had to get tied together, and this is how it was tied together. I think that was it. Alright, thank you for watching this video. Sorry for not actually just posting it and not just doing it over again. But thank you to my subscribers. You guys are amazing, especially for getting me back on here. They say discipline is better than motivation, which is true. But my motivation was to probably go back to bed. Also, to release that video, that link that I keep telling you about, yeah, no, it's not done yet. I'm working on it though. So far, I've got it on the computer that needs to do it. I was supposed to say my intro for my outro, but I forgot. Maybe I was supposed to say, hey, you know what? I actually did. So my phone died. That's what happened. And then after that, I did another intro for this. And then that failed because the microphone was in there. Then I did another intro for this, but it was really long. I was like, yo, I just talked 2 minutes without actually getting to the point. So anyway, now I got to the point. My name is Adrian, and welcome to the field trip. Take her on a field trip. I remember I said that with the first video, but I didn't know I was recording because the camera was flipped the other way. So now the camera's on the front camera, which I can see now because it's just easier to monitor. I might do another video where I say 100 likes, and I'll probably go buy one of those monitors you put at the back of your phone, or maybe a mirror at least. Thank you for watching today. Sorry about the second video. I'll see you next time.